hope you're all well and that you're having an amazing week. Welcome to today's session on the future of work and digital careers, preparing your child for a tech-driven job market. My name is Rachel Mali, and I'm glad to be your moderator for today's session. If this is your first time joining us, we've been having parents webinar series since last month, and we're glad that you've been joining us. Thank you so much, Victor Isika, for joining us today. Thank you so much, Mr. Mukhtar Ogu, for joining us. Thank you so much, Edwin and Evelyn, and everyone else that has taken their time to join us this evening. So if it's your first time to join ADMI or to know about ADMI, please allow me to briefly introduce who we are. We are a leading creative media and technology training institute based in Nairobi at Caxton House, and we equip young creatives with the training, the mentorship, and the platform that they need to turn their passion into a profession. We offer a variety of practical courses such as graphic design, animation, photography, digital marketing, multimedia, among others. So to ensure that we have a smooth session, please ensure your microphone is on mute. And if you need to say anything or if you need to participate, please be sure to use the chat function. We really want this session to be interactive, so your engagement will be highly appreciated. So on to the main event. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Benjamin Waithaka, an Autodesk certified 3D animation expert and mentor in digital skills. Currently, Benjamin serves as the head of animation and motion graphics at Africa Digital Media Institute, where he continues to nurture the next generation of digital creatives. He believes in continuing learning, innovation, and equipping young people with the skills needed to thrive in a tech-driven job market. Please join me in welcoming Benjamin. Benjamin, karibu sana.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much. That sounded like a lot. But good, is it evening now? It's actually evening, afternoon. And hoping you're all well. Thank you for attending this seminar. And I hope you're going to have a good time and really learn a lot, not just for the children, even for ourselves. Thank you, Rachel. All right. So let me just share what I have. Okay, so I hope we can all see my screen. So maybe a thumbs up or something, that would be nice.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. You know, at times you might talk to yourself for a few hours. Yeah, so as Rachel mentioned, yes, we've been, I'm an animator, yes, by profession, but I'm also a digital evangelist. Things to do with the digital transformation and things like that. So it actually it has kind of segued from animation. How this came about is that from animation, we needed faster machines. And when the machines got faster, a lot of things happened. When machines got a bit faster, they could do a lot of things like in media, in tech, and it opened up space for media. It opened up space for digital transformation. And when digital transformation came about, machines became even faster, and now they were able to learn more. And that's how we came to even AI. Now we're in the age of AI, and a lot of things are changing over time. And we'll be discussing on how that is happening. Very many new roles are coming about. Others are becoming obsolete. And there is a lot to grapple within a very short time. You notice like AI is pretty much, it blew up about 3-4 years ago is when AI really blew up. It had been there for quite some time. But after it blew up, a lot of roles started emerging, and there was a need for people who had done even a lot of digital transformation, worked with things like AI. Now they came about by some roles that need to be filled, and new jobs were coming up, and the way people are working was changing. So in terms of digital transformation, I've had the pleasure of, well, speaking to different companies, different schools and whatnots in terms of digital transformation and AI. Then the last one in terms of school I spoke to was the 27th International Nairobi Education Fair in terms of digital transformation and also AI within the education space. So that definitely segues to what we are trying to speak on to today. In terms of how the job market is evolving, and it's really evolving very fast, and technology is reshaping industries, creating new career opportunities. And the question is, how can parents help their children prepare for the future of work? Because unlike the traditional work that in my generation and older generations, it was very clear. You're either a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor. Now those roles are changing with time. And even in our own lifetime so far, we've seen roles really changing and new roles emerging. The other day we were discussing with a few peers, and we were saying, like 5-6 years ago, it would have been very hard for you to convince anybody that there would be an online influencer, that somebody would just be influencing people to buy things, and they are paid by companies to do so. Now it's actually a very lucrative job, and companies are rushing to look for even influencers, things that in a very short time going back we thought that would not happen, but now it's really happening. Roles are coming up that we never thought. Social media marketers and all that, you go to companies, you're finding such. And when I was growing up, there was nothing like social media, first of all. Even understanding the social media marketing aspect itself, it wasn't there. So my parents would not have guided me to become a social media marketer, something that was not even there, that would not have been thought of. But now we notice that these things are starting to crop up. Now, why is it important? Because in terms of guiding our children, because now they really need a lot of guidance in terms of the roles that are coming up. The world of work is changing, and after COVID, a lot of things changed. Before COVID, we were still stuck in our old ways, but after COVID, a lot of things really changed, and we started seeing a lot of new roles and new things happening. From the automation, especially automation, AI and robotics shaping industries. For example, ChatGPT is being used in customer support and content creation from an AI point of view, and a lot of other things, including your phones. They are using AI to work on the exposure. They're using AI to recognize faces. They use AI for facial recognition in terms of unlocking your phone. So we are using AI in very many areas. If you look at things like robotics, if you go to the Amazon warehouses, it is actually robots that are sorting and handling, sorting and packaging. Okay, so there are people who are, we don't have people on the floor, but there are people who program those robots. There are people who are using AI, which is a digital medium, to program and allow those machines to learn. So those are roles that are actually coming up. And according to the World Economic Forum, about 65% of kids today will work in jobs that don't even yet exist. 65% will work in jobs that don't yet exist in the coming days. So far, we have a lot of emerging ones. Like we have emerging roles like AI ethicists. Something like 5 years ago, we didn't have anything of the sort, but now it's coming up. AI ethicists. We are having drone traffic controllers. Too many drones in the air, and now there needs to be some kind of control, and there are drone controllers now coming up. It's actually a job. And a good one at that. There are virtual world designers, and especially with this metaverse thing coming up, we are having virtual world designers coming up, and they are creating virtual worlds that people go there and interact and even have concerts in a virtual environment. Things that in my days would not even have thought of, but they are coming up. But the World Economic Forum is telling us that 65% of kids will come up in roles that don't even exist right now. You notice even right now, we are able to meet. We are meeting remotely. We don't need to meet one-on-one. That doesn't have to be anymore. There's a lot of rise in remote hybrid work, where people are working from home, people working from their computers and being able to deliver. Software engineers, for example, graphic designers, work remotely from anywhere in the world. In my main role as an animator, you'll find a lot of these things that are coming up, either virtual production, either games, and especially huge games. Usually through sites like ArtStation, you find there are a lot of jobs that are posted there, but they are targeting people from around the world. So you can work from the comfort of your home and send your work, and it is reviewed. If the work is good, you're paid from where you are. You notice even companies, there's this company called GitLab. Okay, GitLab is a very massive company, and it operates with fully remote teams across the continents. They don't have an office per se. They don't have a working area. It's just remote, the entire thing. GitLab was started in 2011 as an open source project to help one team of programmers. There's just a team of programmers, but because they were in different places, they came up with GitLab as a project. But today, millions of people use it to deliver softwares faster, more efficiently, while strengthening security and compliance. Yet they don't have an area. They don't congregate in one area. They just work from different places. This is just for software developers and programmers. So working from anywhere in the world. So the world of work is changing at an incredible pace, and these few examples help us understand what kind of new roles are becoming common and how flexible work is gaining momentum. A lot of people want that kind of flexibility from the comfort of their home, but it is all leveraging the digital architecture, and that's where we are looking at now, how to help our children look at these careers. But the base level of it all, the foundation of it all, is the digital architecture, the digital superhighway. It's the one that is helping us now be able to leverage all this and have these work and careers from wherever we are. Now, there are a lot of rising careers, and especially there are a lot of in-demand ones. If you look at software engineering, it's really in demand because every other place you're finding they need some sort of software on their digital platforms to either market, to either sell, to either do research. Whatever it is they need, it's a software. It's actually going to be on the digital domain. AI is another area. People are trying to automate and make things easier. Going forward, AI is in its infancy, but it's growing at a very, very rapid rate. Yes, there are a lot of questions, ethical questions. You notice what is happening in this country where young people are using AI to do all manner of things, and even the legal framework is really struggling to catch up and try to see how they come in, how government's coming and things like that. I think is it a week or 2 weeks ago, industry experts had been called, and they were trying to come up with a policy right here, the Kepinski, I think it's 2-3 weeks ago, I think, yeah. Trying to come up with a policy to guide AI, especially AI, and things to do with cybersecurity. So they're trying to catch up. And as they do that, a lot of other roles are coming up going forward. Cybersecurity is a major one because, again, we cannot be on the digital space. All these people are coming onto the digital space. We have to find a way of securing ourselves and even our own children. There's a whole thing about cybersecurity, and especially even for children. There are a lot of criminals out there using the same platforms. So in whatever is happening in the physical world is also happening in the digital world. But the digital world is creating more opportunities. And with these opportunities, well, a lot of people want to also take advantage of that. So cybersecurity is an area that is coming up also, very, very much so. There is UX and UI. UX is user experience. That's what it means. User experience. So there are a lot of UI, UX designers are really needed because in terms of all these softwares we are talking about, in terms of being able to interact with this digital ecosystem, you have to have a software, you have to have an interface, how you interact. We have joined this meeting through clicking buttons, through finding our way around, through being able to, if like, for example, we want to ask a question, we need to know where the chat is. So that is what UX is. It's how users interact and experience a product or a system or a service. It also includes personal perceptions of utility, ease of use, and efficiency. Is it easy to use? Is it efficient? Then also comes the UI, which is the user interface design, which focuses on the visual aspects and interactivity of the digital products, like websites, apps, Zoom, the one that we are using. We can put user interactions, things like buttons, icons, layouts, all that. So we try to make it visually appealing, engaging, and also help it contribute to a positive user experience so that it is easy to be able to navigate around, to move around. So every software, if there's a software engineer, then UI UX is needed because they cannot design the software, but there is no way of the users interacting with it in a friendly way. So they're actually tied in together. And as they do that, again, cybersecurity comes in, how secure your users, okay? And then we have the whole issue of game design. Game design has also come up in a big way. And a lot of people think gaming is all about entertainment. No. When we say game design, it's actually interactive design. Where you can use it to create maybe lessons. Somebody clicks somewhere, something happens. Maybe companies are using it to induct their employees, like fire safety. You play a game to showcase your competence in terms of, do you know where the exits are? Do you know where the fire extinguishers are? All that. In the medical profession as well, people are learning using interactive media, using VR, AR, augmented reality and virtual reality, all these things. When you say game design, it all falls into that category. So all these are actually in demand. And in each one of these, from software, cybersecurity, UI, UX, game design, there are a lot of careers that actually fall into any one of those, a lot of them. And we're also going to go deeper into looking into that. So far, you notice that the freelance and gig economy has really grown. So people don't want to be employed 8 to 5. People want freelance gigs. They don't want to be locked into one place. They want freelance gigs. You work here today, you work in another job like that, like that. That has really grown. It is good for employers and it's also good for employees. So both of them. This trend of individuals working independently on short-term or flexible jobs, rather than these other roles, traditional roles, has largely been enabled by the digital platforms and technology. Technology has allowed us to do that. The ones that we've just talked about, from software developers to video editors and all that. So they will use freelancing, okay, to be able to get these jobs. You find sites like Upwork and so many others, FlexJob. A lot of them are going to have these short-term kind of freelance gigs, and they are gaining a lot of popularity. Now, these fields offer high-paying, flexible careers, okay? So let's just look at how kids can get started. So these careers are there, okay? And let's just look at how kids can get started and how they can future-proof, because we started in the traditional way of work, but we had to adjust. You have to unlearn and relearn going forward because of the way technology is. You have to unlearn and relearn. So the future workforce is going to need quite a number of things. And if you look at my generation, for example, and a lot of the Gen Zs actually, and a lot of the Gen Zs and below, okay, you'll notice that for most of them, computer literacy is no longer, it's not even asked on your CV. It is expected. Even in CVs, when you're writing, they don't expect you don't have computer skills. It is almost by default. They know you have to know how to use a computer. You have to know how to use a phone. You have to know how to type. So it's almost by default, it's almost expected. So going forward, even for the kids from today going forward, there are those skills that will almost be expected, like they need to know a few of these things. And some of these key roles in the future, you'll notice that we have the technical skills, okay, which is coding, data analysis, digital tools. Now, digital tools will encompass everything from graphic design to game development to all these kind of things. Coding, well, you'll learn how to code several coding languages, Python script, JavaScript, or Scratch. It empowers kids, to build apps, games, and websites. So coding will help them to do that with these languages, not limited to only the ones that I've mentioned. There's data analysis, which is also a big one, understanding how to gather and interpret data, using Excel, actually. Today, I'm happy I still know how to use Excel. Excel is still very relevant, or Python libraries like Panda is a crucial in the fields like business, science, and AI. So if it's really crucial for businesses to be able to gather and interpret and analyze data. So that is going to be a major one as well going forward. Now, the digital tools, the ones that I've just mentioned, like the online ones like Canva, Google Workspace for collaboration, Unity for game development, and Real Engine for game development. Well, it gives kids a head start in their digital career, especially those digital tools, because they'll be needed in very many other areas that they'll be working in. So we also have the human skills. So we cannot lose the human skills. Things like creativity, that is thinking outside the box. This is going to be quite important. Kids need to be creative because with the rise of AI, a lot of things can be done to a basic level. But what is going to kind of set the child apart is how creative they are. How creative they are in terms of using that AI. So most of the times people are afraid that AI is going to replace them in the job market, but that is not right. AI is not going to replace you. It's a person who knows how to use AI creatively. That's the person that is going to replace you. So kids need to be creative. Usually they are creative normally. It's only that as we grow, if we do not support that creativity, at times they start to lose it because they've been kind of fashioned in a certain manner or directed in a certain manner. So it's good to encourage creativity. So thinking outside the box, that's very, very, very good. It actually fuels a lot of innovation. Now, communication is going to be key. Communication is key. Being able to express the ideas through writing, presentations, or videos. And it also helps in teamwork and leadership. And adaptability. This is a major one. Adjusting quickly to new tech and workflows. That one is a must-have because they need to be adaptable, and especially in this technological landscape where things are changing extremely at lightning speed. So it is good that they are adaptable. So for instance, learning a new app or tool during a project, builds resilience in the fast-changing environment. You're working on a project, and all of a sudden, a new tool comes out that can actually help deliver the project faster. So this child has to have the ability to be able to adapt to that, learn it very fast, and incorporate it into their project. And that works out very well. And as we discuss this, not just for children, even for ourselves, this is going to be very, very crucial. Because as you can see, skills matter more than degrees. And that is something that the older generation is not really getting, and they're really having a hard time getting through that, because even employers have seen that skills matter more than degrees, matter more than the paper. Okay, a child who learns basic Python can automate tasks and create a simple game. Okay, skills that are already useful in many industries. The kid has just learned Python, and then the child is able to actually program a game that is needed by the many industries and the workforce. So this child is going to have a skill that can immediately be deployed into the industry. Okay. At the same time, a child who can communicate clearly, adapt to new situations, or show empathy will thrive in teamwork and leadership roles. Okay. So what we need to do is encourage both tech fluency and strong emotional intelligence. So these two. You need to encourage both tech fluency and strong emotional intelligence to ensure a well-rounded future readiness so that they are ready. Okay? tech fluency, emotional intelligence. So these two have to be there. Now, in terms of learning itself, yes, they have these two, but in terms of learning, how do they get to this? How do they get to learn all these things? Okay, now you need to know that education is really evolving. We had our traditional way of education. Now it has totally changed. Blended learning and online platforms. And thanks to COVID-19, now blended learning is totally accepted all over. It was a problem then, but now parents learned through the hard way. So it's a positive that came out of the COVID. It's a positive. So blended learning and online platforms, lots of them. So you could have blended learnings, you could have micro credentials, and there are accessible tools, okay, like a lot of online tools that you can look at. These are modern education formats that complement or replace traditional classroom methods, allowing students to learn at their own pace. Often with more flexibility and focus. So if they can learn at their own pace, and it's very flexible, then children can almost learn anything at any given time. Blended learning combines both in person with online resources. Okay, a student can attend a math class physically, then use Khan Academy. Khan Academy is an online platform at home to reinforce the concepts through interactive videos and exercises. They usually have some good interactive videos and exercises over there. So we also have boot camps, which are intensive short-term training programs that focus on practical job-ready skills. Okay, so lots of boot camps. So it's important for you to look for all kinds of boot camps that are around. And I think ADMI usually has such. We do have boot camps and also blended learning. So you can have children join a 12-week boot camp, for either coding, or 2 weeks workshop for animation at ADMI, or video editing, or game development. So any of that. So generally, you can leverage that. So you don't have to wait for the school that your kid goes to be able to introduce these things. You yourself as a parent can be able to leverage this one here. Now, there's micro credentials. What are micro credentials? Micro credentials are short focused certificates that demonstrate specific skills or knowledge in a given area. A student earns a Google Data Analytics certificate. Google has so many certificates over there just to showcase the skills. Those are the micro credentials. You can have a data analytics certificate on Coursera, which can boost your resume even without a university degree. So these are the skills that are being looked at. Hands-on skills, things that are ready to be deployed into the job market. We have all these accessible platforms that you can use. Some are free or low-cost online learning resourcing. So Khan Academy is one of them. There is Coursera. If your child is into coding, there is code.org, which is a child-friendly platform where kids learn how to code through games and puzzles and interactive projects. So just look for all these accessible platforms and be able to use them to sort of nudge your kid into that direction. So kids today can learn anything anytime. Okay, so let's help them leverage that. So it's the parent to be able to look at all these and look at the interests of your kid and see, what can I leverage on top of everything else they are learning? What can I be able to leverage? And they are there. So in terms of learning, yes, they can be able to learn all these things. Now, this is where now the difference comes in. This is where we get the difference. Digital natives or digital creators. This is where now the rubber meets the road. Because you need to encourage your kids to create with tech tools. Okay, you need to encourage them to create, like Scratch, Roblox. Roblox is very good even for games and things like that. And some of them are even free, like Roblox, I think. And Canva and 3D modeling apps like Blender. Blender is totally free. And you can even have, if you want to learn that, you can come to ADMI, talk to Rachel, ask her for a boot camp. Usually it's 2 weeks or more for maybe learning those things. And basically, why are we looking at digital natives and digital creatives? Digital natives are people or kids who just consume, okay? They just consume. So they don't do anything else. They just consume, okay? Now, so generally, I've seen something there. I've seen Roblox being demonized for kids. Yeah, you see all these things. You need to understand that in terms of creating, like for example, what we are having and AI in Kenya. If you ask the political class, they will not want to hear about AI because of the way it has been used. Okay, so it is how it is used. That is what is important. How do you use it? How do you leverage it? Social media can also actually be demonized as well, but it is the same social media that is helping us with a lot of news, a lot of learning, catching up, and all that. So we have to look at it and understand that, just as I said, whatever is happening in the real world also happens in the digital space. Okay, so generally, you need to look at how you're using these things, even all these apps. That's where the ethics come in, and we're going to look at a bit of that so that we train our kids on what to do in terms of those ethics. So generally, our kids should not be passive. Okay, from passive consumers to active creation. Okay, projects, build games using those platforms. Roblox is one. There's Scratch, okay, which teach logic and coding in a fun way. Okay, edit videos, use beginner-friendly tools like CapCut or iMovie to create vlogs and tutorials and short films. So encourage kids to create. If your kid loves animation, encourage them to use tools like Blender, even for older kids. Or there's one called Toontastic for younger ones to express their stories and ideas. Okay, so as much as they are watching a lot of cartoons, instead of you complaining that they're watching a lot of cartoons, look at these tools. If they are younger, there's one called Toontastic. Install it, look at it, and tell them, how about you create yours? Okay, so that these kids can start becoming digital creators, not just passive consumers. That way, they are going to learn and have fun at the same time. They're going to learn and have fun at the same time. So we are modeling them. So that brings me now to your role as a parent. It's support. It's more support and guide exploration. Support and guided exploration and experimentation. Encourage tech play. Okay. Encourage tech play. Okay. Yes, we are recording that. I think I'll also give a list. I'll make sure Rachel has a list of those that we've just talked about. Encourage tech play. Let your kids tinker with coding platforms. Okay, they are like things like Scratch or even others to just get hands-on experience in terms of how to code. Celebrate their curiosity. Okay, if your child asks you how a video game is made, guide them to explore things like Roblox, Unity. Guide them to explore the game engines, see how they are made. Okay, that way they'll have their curiosity will jump into them wanting to do. Support their DIY projects. If they want to create simple things, support them. Okay, you can use kits like Lego Mindstorms, okay, or Microbit to foster creativity and problem solving. Let them create freely. Okay, whether it is designing art using Canva or animation using Toontastic or editing, it builds their confidence. And these children want to see, what I encourage is encourage their effort. Okay, being a teacher, I lecture, I train, I tutor. What I've learned with my students especially, and I also train younger ones in very many boot camps, is that it's not more of the final product. It's more of the effort they put into it. Because if I praise their final product, what is going to happen is they will always try to look at the final product, and if something goes wrong in between, they really get depressed and demoralized because they think that the final product is what is making you as the parent happy. Yet it's actually the process, it's the journey. So if you continue supporting the journey, if you continue rewarding the effort, not the final product, just the effort, then they are going to start believing in themselves, because that's what they want. They need to believe in themselves. They'll believe that they can do something. Even if something comes out wrong, they'll start looking at the process and saying, okay, I started this way, I went this way, like that. So that is really going to help them moving forward. Now, if you model good screen habits and balance, model good screen habits. Good screen habits are very important. Okay, set aside tech-free meal times. Okay, encourage creative tech. Okay, you as they are using digital art. Okay, instead of just watching videos, allow them to create, but also model some good screen habits. Don't overdo it, because now once they are too much onto the screen, other things are going to happen other than now they're creating, from the fatigue, from frustration and all that. Make sure it's set aside. Remember, we are looking at a well-rounded child, So model good screen habits, even yourself as the parent. Okay, please don't take your meals and you're having your phone at the same time, because kids will model that. They are able to see, especially the younger ones. The older ones have already formed an opinion of you, so you need to change. But the younger ones, they can see whether you're really paying attention, whether it is your phone that has taken their place. So just set aside some tech-free meal times and encourage creativity as well. Invest in digital learning tools. You'll have to invest. Most of them are not even expensive at all. Some of them are subscription based. So heavily invest in that, so that your child can be able to explore. Okay, either it's coding, either it's animation. Find all these things. You don't have to be a tech expert. You really don't have to be a tech expert. What matters most is your support and encouragement. Okay, you don't have to be a tech expert. Just what matters most is your support and encouragement. Kids thrive when they see curiosity and balance modeled at home. So you also have to model the same. Being the parent, you also have to model the same, so that they can be able to see that. Okay, and they'll be able to thrive in such an environment. Now, what pathways can we look at? And this is also encouraging you as the parent to do a lot of research. You really need to do a lot of research and look at the new trends that are coming up. Now, there are a lot of career pathways to watch out for, and most of them are really growing. AI is one of them. As artificial intelligence. Okay, AI power assistants like Siri, self-driving cars, tools like ChatGPT. Careers include AI engineers, data scientists, and AI ethicists. You see, all these are fields that you can look at depending on how your child kind of gravitates towards what they want. You just need to look at what they like. And gear them towards these digital careers. There is AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality. Now, a lot of people don't know the differences. Augmented reality is whereby you use your phone, and then once you switch on your phone and get into the augmented reality app, you're able to maybe see a product on a table. And these days they're using it even for some art galleries. You enter into the gallery, you see nothing. You switch on your phone and you point it towards a wall. Now you can see the painting. With games like Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is all just AR. And you see how big it was. Okay, so it blends virtual elements into the real world. Okay, it blends virtual elements into the real world, and that is where we're headed. And actually, even some marketing, I've had some discussions with some marketing agencies, and they are looking at augmented reality, whereby you walk around the city, and if you're using your phone, you start seeing adverts that nobody else is seeing, because it's usually locked, it's geo-locked to a certain place. You point your phone, you start seeing an advert or even a video playing, but without your phone, you really can't see it. You have to point it with your phone to be able to see it. So yeah, so that is happening. It's coming to our country soon enough. And then there's virtual reality, where you have to wear the goggles, okay, like Meta's Oculus. You wear the goggles, and then you are able to see the virtual worlds. Those virtual worlds where you immerse yourself, okay, and experience the designs that are there. So that is where even the metaverse is coming in. People create virtual worlds whereby you're having a concert. Maybe a certain musician is actually having a VR concert, whereby you wear the goggles, you find yourself in a concert surrounded by thousands of people, and the guy in front there is doing his music or whatever, or even teaching for classrooms. But if you remove your goggles, you see nothing. You put the goggles on, you see the entire metaverse over there. And that is the next, actually, iteration of the internet. Soon, we are not going to be looking at things the way we are looking at them right now. We are going to be able to meet, all of us, just as we are in this meeting. We are going to meet in a virtual place, and we'll see these animated avatars of ourselves in that place, okay, where we build. People are building the entire world, and some are even selling land in the metaverse. Imagine that. Maybe your home area has already been sold in the metaverse. So people are buying that, but we're still a bit way off before we get to that point. So VR developers and immersive experience designers, that is a place that is really working. Animation is taking a major role there. So there's also biotech, biotechnology. Okay, biotech was crucial during the COVID-19 vaccine development. It includes genetic engineering, agricultural innovation, medical tech. It ranges a lot of medical fields, from geneticists to biomedical engineers. So your child wants to be a doctor, but they want to go further and become a biomedical engineer or a geneticist. Okay, so that is a role that is coming up even in our medical space. So you find even VR, by the way, the Aga Khan Hospital is using that. They are using a lot of VR to even teach the new doctors coming up. They are using a lot of that. So yeah, it's a field that is coming out. And then there is the green tech, that is sustainable or environmental technology. Things like solar panel technology, electric cars, sustainable building materials. Part of this field are future careers, which include renewable energy engineers and sustainability consultants. That is going to be a thing. That's actually a career. Okay. So as a parent, a child that has interest in graphic, what apps do they use? Canva. Graphic design, they can use Canva. They can use Canva, and also things like Blender for animations, when they need that in terms of graphic design. So some of the young digital entrepreneurs, I would want you to also look at them, follow them. This is just a few, okay? There's Avi Schiffman, okay? A teenager who built one of the world's most visited COVID-19 tracking websites, most visited in the world. He is the one who created that, just a teenager. There's Emma Young, okay? Created an app called Timeless to help Alzheimer's patients recognize their loved ones using facial recognition. That is just awesome, because now these patients forget, and this Timeless app really helps them in their quality of life and really brings families together, honestly. And she's just a young girl. And then there's Samira Mehta, founded the Coder Bars at the age of 8, a board game that teaches kids to code. And she has spoken in Google and Microsoft events. These are young kids, okay, using what is available to us. Before we would say they're in the first world, we are not. No, the internet we are in a global village now. We have what it takes. Avi used a website. It's just coding, creating websites. And we have online, even Coursera will teach you that, to do that. Google will teach you to do that, okay? These apps, again, it's a bit of coding, the same. So you are able to create all these. And as they create these codes, they needed UI designers, UX designers, all that, for them to be able to actually launch that. So these are just small examples of kids who are able to do some life-changing, altering things in our lifetime, actually in the last few years, really. And there are many more. Who are coming up. So the question is, how do you as a parent get started? Because yes, all I've said nice things, yes, but how do you get started? Number one, remember I said you don't have to be a tech expert. You just have to support. That's all you have to do, and do a bit of research, okay? And in the process, you could become a tech expert yourself. Okay, so find your child's interests. Okay. Now, introduce coding apps, tech camps, and online courses. Okay, if they're into coding, coding apps like Scratch, Tinker. Okay, Scratch is easy. It's a fun drag and drop programming platform for kids to create games and animations. Tinker offers structured courses for various age groups. okay, on game developments and robotics and Python. Okay, so tech camps, there are school holiday camps. ADMI has some. You could talk to Rachel. Ask whether the next holiday, do we have one for animation? Do you have one for film? Do you have one for all this? So there's Africa Code Week for those who are coding. It's called Africa Code Week. It's a free coding initiative across Africa for kids and teens. It's called Africa Code Week. Online courses are there. Now, if you look at STEM, when we look at STEM, STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So expos, you get STEM expos. And there are very many expos out here. There is the Nairobi Innovation Week, where you can go showcase your innovations and learn from different innovators. There is the Kenya Science and Engineering Fair, where children can see projects, meet young innovators, and explore science booths. Okay, like these two are right in our backyard, right here. So those are places you take your kids. Apart from them just having pizza and jumping into the sand, whatever, why don't you just take them to these places whereby you can stoke their curiosity? If their schools have makers clubs, there are schools that have makers clubs and communities where kids can use different types of things, and like 3D printers, electronic kits, crafting tools. Or maybe their school you could encourage them or ask their school whether they have a digital club or a coding club, such things, so that they can be exposed to these things early. So start small. Try one new activity this month and build from there. Just try one and just build from there. Start small. You don't have to start very big. Just start small and see what works. There are a lot of resources, which I think Rachel, I'll give a handout for this so that Rachel is going to be able to send it to you. So there are a lot of platforms out there, the ones that I've mentioned, like Tikka, Scratch, and all that. And there are also some parenting resources. Okay, there are some parenting resources. Now, Common Sense Media is a very good one, by the way. Common Sense Media is a really, really good one. If you are, once we even finish this meeting, just Google Common Sense Media. And it helps parents. It really offers reviews and advice on apps, games, movies for age-appropriate and safe tech use. Okay, you can look up, for example, a parent can look up whether a new coding game is educational and is suitable for maybe a child of 10 years or 8 years. So Common Sense Media is, I think, each parent, not just for techie, just even for movies and different cartoons and games and apps, it's important for you to just bookmark it and check. They always give you reviews on that. So you can have also look for tech parenting groups. Tech parenting groups on Facebook, local meetups where parents can advise and give tips on how to raise digital literate children. We have something called Tech Kids Africa around here for kids between 4 to 8 years. There is Kodietu. Kodietu is a local one, just for coding. But this is going to help you as a parent, especially if you are to join these groups. But Common Sense Media, I highly, highly recommend that one. So that at least you can be able to review, instead of watching something and then later on is when you realize it wasn't good for your child. Common Sense Media works for you. All apps and everything, you're going to get some really good reviews, and it's free. So just get there and see all those reviews. It's really going to help. So far, I think I'm almost ending there. So I'm just opening up the floor for any questions, comments, or even a shared experience, if anyone has that. So this is the time. I'm just opening it up for us to do that for now. Any questions or comments or shared experience, that would be awesome. So maybe Rachel, you can take it away from here now, as I have two more slides to finish.
Benjamin, so as we wait for other parents to share their comments with us, we can go through some of the comments that were shared before when you were doing your presentation. We have Madam Jacqueline Mwangi. So her comment was that I'm liking this session. I am also in an AI mastery class as a parent and trying lessons with my children. She has a question. I have seen Roblox being demonized for kids. Please expound on that.
Yes, I had touched on that a bit. The key thing is it's how to use. It's all ethics. It's how it's being used. Like for example, today you notice, was it today or yesterday? X was closed in Tanzania. It's not that X is bad, but it's because of the way it is being used. Okay, so if you use it wrongly, because these things have the power to really change the world, but they also have the power to create things that are not really suitable for either children or even adults. So it is teaching your kids ethics. They need to understand what they are doing is not just for themselves, it is going to affect other people. So, like for example, you've had people saying TikTok should be closed or Snapchat should be closed, and they have their own way because they are saying it is being used wrongly. Just because it is being used wrongly does not mean it is good. It is bad. So we have to understand the ethics of it. How is it being used? So the key thing about Roblox is it is game design. Game design. That's it. It's interactive media. So now, what kind of media are you creating? Okay, that is the thing. It's like a pen and a paper. Same, pen and paper. And you learn English, you write very well. But what are you writing? Are you writing hate letters or are you writing love letters? But if somebody writes hate letters, now we cannot say English is very bad. It is being used to write hate letters. No, it's not the English. It's not the language. It is the person communicating. So I think in all of them, that is usually the problem. Even notice our politicians, the kind of AI art that is being used to insult presidents and all that, does that make AI art bad? No. It is the user who has the problem, not the AI art. So Roblox is just a program. So the problem is the human aspect. Remember, we looked at the human itself, from the creativity, from the communication, all that. The human aspect is the problem. The communication aspect is the problem. So Roblox, it has no problem if you create the right things, but you have the ability to create wrong things at the same time. So that's the way I would answer that. I hope I've answered that question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. There's another positive comment from Mr. Mukhtar Ogu. Informative indeed. We need to lead and teach from the future by fixing the present and preparation for tomorrow. Thank you so
Very
much.
true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Then I think we answered Madam Eunice's question that as a parent to a child that has interest in graphics, specifically fashion graphics, what apps would you suggest for them? We answered that, right?
Yes, we did. Canva would be one of them. Yes, we did.
Yeah. So so far those are the comments and the questions that we have received from our parents.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So generally, even for ourselves, it's important that we do our research and learn a lot of this. It's really going to help us coming into the future. Now, my final thoughts is that start your child's journey today. Okay, start your child's journey today. The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's the best way to predict. We can't really predict, we can just create it so that we are predictable in terms of going into the future. Predictable. So together we can shape a better future for our children. Okay, together we can be able to do that, but we have to also understand the dangers, because remember, this whole thing is online. All right, this whole thing is online. So there are a lot of dangers also online. So we need to also be very cognizant of that. And that's why we are talking to you, the parents. You know the dangers that are there. You know the dangers that using AI in an unpalatable way can bring. Doesn't make AI bad. It just means that we need to also train our children when it comes to the ethics, and also in terms of minding their neighbors at the end of it all, and also minding the emotions of others, the feelings of others. So these are things, and that's why we said emotionally intelligent children. We need that for them to be able to use these tools effectively, because the same tools that are giving us very good careers are the same tools that are being used to hack our systems. So, and that's why you even notice we have a career called ethical hacker. So yeah, they are hackers, but they are ethical ones. Okay, so they try to fight the others who are not very ethical. So you cannot say hacking is a problem, because now somebody has to learn to be an ethical hacker. So at the end of the day, that happens. These roles are there, the dangers are there, and we need to be able to see them. So at the end of the day, that's why we really need to be able to guide our children into these careers. And as they are using them, we can be able to monitor and see what they're able to do. So please model that as the parent. Start your child's journey today. Thank you very much.
Benjamin, there's
Yes.
another question, one last question from Bwana Mukhtar.
Yes.
The question is, does Kenya have the requisite infrastructure for the ideas you have well articulated?
Well, I would say not just Kenya, the entire world. Actually, because these jobs are worldwide. Okay, these jobs are worldwide. When you're coding, you're not just coding for Kenya, you're coding for the world. We have coders who are based here who are coding things in the US. So that's why we said that's the blended workflow is there. As long as you can code, it doesn't matter where you are on earth, you're going to get that job. So as long as there's the internet, yes, the infrastructure is there. What is lacking is the legal, the legal aspect is trying to catch up, but the infrastructure is there, totally 100%. Like I could give an example of, for example, animation. Animation, we get jobs from all over the world, and we work from them right here. And even coding, there are people who are coding things for people in Europe. There are people who are editing stuff, like for example, through Upwork. I have a few friends who do a lot of video editing weekly. Lots of them for people in mostly Europe and a bit of North America, just a little bit of it. So they usually work like that, but they are working from here. They are working from here. So those jobs are going to get better going forward. So it's not a matter of us having the framework, because the framework is on the internet. It's in the digital space. We no longer have borders anymore. It's actually literally in the digital space. So I hope I've answered your question.
Asante sana. We've come to the end of our session today. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for such an insightful presentation and sharing your wisdom with us today. I cannot forget our parents who joined us this evening. Asanteni sana, and we are very grateful for your time. Your comments and your presence has been highly appreciated. I wouldn't want to waste much of your time this evening, and I would love to wish you a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and goodbye for now.